just ahead of a very big night at this convention. Events like these sometimes make stars. One of the Democrats who might fit into that category is Texas Congressman Joaquin Castro. He and his brother Julian, who is House and Urban Development Secretary, HUD Secretary, represent the next generation of Democrats. Representative Castro joins us tonight. Thank you for coming in.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Brett.
Well, let me get your thoughts, first of all, on what has dominated this day, which is this Donald Trump news conference.
Yeah.
We just caught up with him. Brian Kilmeade has an interview on Fox and Friends tomorrow. He caught up with him, asked him about those comments about Russia, and take a listen.
Sure.
Of course I'm being sarcastic, and they don't even know, frankly, if it's Russia. They have no idea if it's Russia, if it's China, if it's somebody else. Who knows who it is? But you have 33,000 emails deleted, and the real problem is what was said on those emails from the Democratic National Committee. You take a look at what was said on those emails. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. They talk about religion. They talk about race. They talk about all sorts of things, including women. And what they said on those emails is a disgrace, and they're just trying to deflect from that.
So, Congressman, he says it was sarcasm when he was saying, Russia, you should look into getting Hillary Clinton's 30,000 emails that are missing. Your reaction to all of this?
Well, first, Brett, you see this pattern with Donald Trump where he says something that's very outlandish and bombastic, and in this case is a real national security threat. There are experts who are saying that this borders on treason. Which is a very serious thing. And I say that, you know, as somebody who sits on the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Intelligence Committee. Hillary Clinton, to her credit, has said that she's trying to not make this political. But when Donald Trump goes out and invites the Russians to hack a political party, that is something that is very bizarre in American politics.
Sure, even if he was joking about it at that moment with the media.
Sure, and I don't believe he was joking.
Yeah.
So I don't accept that he was joking about it. Sure.
But Republicans push back and say, you know, the national security threat is that there was classified information on Hillary Clinton's server, and that's the real threat that happened, not the talk of Russia.
Yeah, no, and there were 9 different committees that went over that, from Benghazi to the emails in the Congress. It was determined as best as possible that that server was never hacked, that a foreign government or anybody else never looked into it.
Well,
as far as they could determine.
That's what the campaign says. The FBI couldn't really decide or
well, they said
that
they'd not been able to determine that happened, and so so that issue has been vetted. But when you have a presidential candidate for either party, if this was a Republican or a Democrat, it's incredibly irresponsible in this digital age, the technological age that we're in, to be inviting a foreign government to interfere with the political process. And I'll tell you, I think this is a digital Watergate. I really think this could be a digital Watergate.
As opposed to how Hillary Clinton handled her emails or the DNC.
I'm sorry, the sound went out.
Oh, yeah, the DNC and this whole email thing, or Hillary Clinton's emails. You think that this is a digital Watergate? I
do. I think that, you know, I'd like to know, first of all, as we all would, be able to confirm who was behind the hacking of the DNC. But then after that, if any American received the information that was hacked. Did any American or campaign receive information that was hacked?
I want to ask you about, you've talked about or hinted at running for Senate in Texas in 2018. Are you closer to making that decision?
No, I've said for a while now that I will look at my options in 2018. I'm happy representing San Antonio in the United States Congress. I'm not somebody who's been in a hurry and said I've got to run for governor or senator in 2 years, but I've also said that I will take a look at it. Ted Cruz is a senator who's up in 2018. Ted Cruz said that he would go to Washington and change Washington. He has. He's made it worse. Ted has only worked for Ted, and I think Republicans and Democrats agree on that.
I've heard Democrats say we're going to turn Texas blue. But, boy, you look at Texas, Congressman, that looks like a real uphill battle. And just looking at your votes, you kind of have a progressive voting record, the most progressive in Texas Democrats, kind of in line with Wendy Davis. You've got 0% with Club for Growth, 0% with America's Conservative Union, 0% with National Right to Life, 15% with Freedom Works, 11% with Heritage Action. We've all seen these scorecards.
Well, I will say this, Brett. I don't know which votes they're looking at, but I won't deny that I'm going to do everything that I can to build the infrastructure of opportunity in Texas. There is something that has distinguished this country from other countries in the world, and it is that we have created great public schools and universities, a strong healthcare system, and an economy that's built around well-paying jobs, so that when people put in a full day's work, they can support themselves and their family members. So whatever the votes are that support that agenda, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, Congressman, we'll cover it either way. I know you're speaking tomorrow night, and quickly the message in that speech. The speech tomorrow night?
Well, yeah, it's going to be a speech about opportunity, and I'm going to start off with my grandmother's story. You know, my grandmother came to this country in 1922, and Bret, my grandmother was an immigrant from Mexico, and she wasn't a murderer and she wasn't a rapist. My grandmother, when she came here, was a 6-year-old orphan. Both her parents had died around the time of the Mexican Revolution, and she never made it past elementary school, but she worked as hard as she could, as other immigrants have from Europe and Asia and everywhere else, to try to get by for herself and give my mom a better chance in life than she had. And I'm going to talk about how Hillary Clinton will help build that infrastructure of opportunity, and I believe Donald Trump, if he's elected, will tear it down.
Congressman, we appreciate your time. We're happy to have just one of you. That's fine with us.
You invite my brother next time. I'm sure he'll come on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.